evening, viewers. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Chaudhary. After Ayodhya, the big flashpoint has been Varanasi, the Gyanvapi Mosque. Now, there was a petition by 5 women. They say that they wanted to pray inside the mosque primarily because they believe, and there has been artifacts as well to confirm that there is behind the temple, there used to be open for them to go and pray once a year. They believe now there are other Hindu deities inside that mosque. There was a survey that was called for where the Gyanvapi Mosque is concerned. There has been opposition to the survey by the mosque authorities, but the courts have turned it down. The survey will go on. The dust quite not settled where the Gyanvapi Mosque is concerned. Now there is a fresh petition where the Taj Mahal, the iconic Taj Mahal in Agra, has come into play, with a BJP leader saying that 22 doors need to be opened because behind them, he believes, are Hindu deities. It's raining petitions in Uttar Pradesh to dig into history, to survey mosques and mausoleums, to uncover if they were built over temples and on Hindu deities. After the Ayodhya dispute settled, a dispute that dragged for decades, occupied the center stage of religious politics in India. The legal spotlight now is on the Gyanvapi Mosque, Varanasi. Petitions by 5 women asking to be allowed to pray at a Hindu shrine behind Varanasi's Gyanvapi Mosque complex is building up into a flashpoint in Uttar Pradesh. The women want unrestricted year-long access to Ma Shringar Gauri site located at the back of the mosque's western wall. The site is currently opened once a year for rituals. On the basis of the petitions, a survey was ordered by a local court. The survey has not been fully completed because of a dispute over videography inside the mosque. The caretaker committee of the Gyanvapi Mosque and its lawyers have said they are opposed to any videography inside the mosque. But the lawyers for the petitioners have claimed they had the courts go ahead. A new date for the survey will now be announced by the court on Tuesday. However, another controversy brews. Adding fuel to the already heated socio-political situation in India, a plea has now been filed by BJP media in charge of Ayodhya district, Dr. Rajneesh Singh, in the Lucknow bench of the Allahabad High Court, to carry out a survey inside Agra's iconic Taj Mahal. The petitioner has asked the court to give directions to the Archaeological Survey of India to investigate 22 closed doors of the Taj Mahal, claiming they are Hindu deities in these rooms. There are 2 views to these recent developments. One that stands by rectification of historical injustices. The other which says, why rake up history, which by nature is about versions and interpretations. The question, however, is, how far will we go? Bureau Report, India Today. All right, viewers, there's a lot of debate, there's a lot of politics around these fresh batch of petitions because there's just not one where the Gyanvapi Mosque is concerned. You just heard there's one in Taj Mahal as well because a BJP leader has now filed a petition saying 22 doors need to be opened because behind them are Hindu deities. On the other hand, another flashpoint brewing in Mathura as well. Many petitions lodged where the Mathura Mandir is concerned. We're going to take cut across to our political panelists as well. As other people in terms of the commentary that is going around the temple and the mosque debate. Zainab Sikandar, columnist, is with us. Kaushal Mishra, spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party. Sharad Pradhan, senior journalist. Vishnu Jain, advocate. I want to cut across to Kaushal Mishra, the BJP spokesperson first. We're going to cut across to him. We're just establishing our video connector with him, going to him in just a short while from now. But Zainab Sikandar, why do you feel that the various petitions somewhere down the line are muddying the communal harmony, which is very precarious in the state of Uttar Pradesh?
You know, it's a trend now. It's become so commonplace for these kind of petitions to come in, and especially when elections are around the corner. We can't forget, in 6 months there's the Gujarat election and there's also the Himachal Pradesh election, and lo and behold, what comes up? Temple politics. And where is the most fertile land for temple politics? Obviously Uttar Pradesh. Now I want to point out something very important. When the Kashi Vishwanath corridor was being made, which we are all very happy for and all very proud of, it's a great corridor, it's a great place for tourists to come in and see our culture. But at that time, not a single brick of the Gyanvapi complex was even touched. Why? Because at that time, the Modi government itself didn't want to, touch the status quo, hamper the status quo. Why now? Why all of a sudden these petitions coming in? And in fact, out of the 5 petitions, one of the petition of a lady named Rakhi Singh, she's allegedly, supposedly she's going to take it back, but it's not been confirmed yet.
No, she's not taking it back. She said so today very clearly. She's not taking it back.
Okay. Nevertheless, the politics around it is very clear. Maybe the petitions are sometimes, the petitioners themselves are sometimes confused about what they are going to do, but the politics around it is not confused at all. It is from the playbook that's been played from a very long time. And another point I'd like to make is the Places of Worship Special Provisions Act 1991 clearly mentioned that all places of worship will be maintained as they are from August 15, 1947. Ayodhya was an exception that was made. Okay. Now, if we come to make exceptions, then there'll be thousands of exceptions, because like you rightly said in your intro, history is many versions and history has many narratives. You can't say one is right and one is wrong. So obviously, if the court says do a survey, for sure, we should go ahead and do a survey. But is this the way we want India's politics to go ahead? Where are the surveys for inflation? Where are the surveys for unemployment? I'd like to know when the government or the courts will allot such surveys, because that is the survey I'm more interested in rather than a temple survey.
All right, okay. Well, that could be, many would suggest, your point of view. I want to bring in Kushal Mishra as well, because there are petitioners. These 5 women are the ones who come from Varanasi, who say we pray once a year there. We want access to it right now. They say it's a matter of faith. We don't have Kushal Mishra. We're going to connect to him in just a short while. Cutting across to Vishnu Jain. He's a Supreme Court advocate, and he staunchly believes that these petitions are good. It's a matter of correcting and rectifying historical blunders. But Vishnu Jain, the fact is, where does the buck stop? How far will we keep digging into history?
See, the question is that when this issue was before the Supreme Court in Ayodhya judgment and Ram Mandir case, the Supreme Court in para 646 of the judgment has categorically said that the historical wrongs can be rectified by the present sovereign. And let me tell you that in today's democratic setup, judiciary is one of the sovereigns which has the power to rectify these historical wrongs. Now, the point in issue is this: so far as the case of Kashi Vishwanath is concerned, there is no confusion amongst the petitioners. There was never any statement made by Rakhi Singh for withdrawal of the petition. And so far as the status of Kashi Vishwanath is concerned, the UP legislature, by an act of 1983, special act of 1983, has given legal validity and legal value to the Jyotirling, and section 4 of the act says so. And that act was challenged till the Supreme Court, and Justice Ramaswamy's judgment, para 1 in 1997, judgment of the Supreme Court clarifies the position that the original Jyotirling is the present disputed site. That is the very categorical stand which has been taken by the state legislature in 1983, and it has been affirmed by the Supreme Court. So the temple which we pray here right now in the Kashi Vishwanath corridor is just a symbolic temple. The original Jyotirling is within the disputed site, and therefore to collect the evidence and to take out all the evidences, this present survey has been ordered by the Varanasi Civil Court. Against this ordering of the survey, the Anjuman Intizamiya went before the High Court, and let me tell you, on 21st of April 2022, their petition has been rejected, and they have not challenged that order in the Supreme Court also. So the legal position is that this order of the trial court has to be enforced, and the people have to go inside and do the survey and the videography and submit a report before the court.
But Vishnu Jain, the fact is, this is the status quo where the Gyanvapi Mosque is concerned. While the dust on that is still yet to settle, because that's still an ongoing controversy, there is a fresh petition that has been lodged by a BJP leader where the Taj Mahal is concerned to open 22 doors. Where does the buck stop? You can keep digging. You know, where you are sitting right now could very well be a mosque or a temple. Tomorrow somebody can say that I want to dig where you are sitting.
See, I joined your debate earlier, and I am not here to make any political point. My point is a legal point. I have quoted to you para 646 of the judgment of the Supreme Court, and you yourself have told me that not to make any political statements. I am not making any political statements. My point is purely legal, and I will stick to that.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Vishnu Jain, I want to cut across right now to Kaushal Mishra, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party. We finally do have him. मिश्रा जी, बात यह है कि चलिए ज्ञानवापी मॉस्क में तो पेटिशन हुआ है, वहां पर जो पहले भी साल में एक बार वहां पे प्रेयर होती है, रिचुअल्स होते हैं. अब ताजमहल में 22 कमरे खुलवाना चाह रहे हैं. आप ही के कोई सहयोगी हैं बीजेपी के कि उधर भी सर्वे हो. सर्वे कब तक होगा? कोई कह सकता है जहां पर आप बैठे हैं वहां पर एक मॉस्क है या एक मंदिर है, वहां का भी सर्वे होना चाहिए.
देखिए, कोई कहां पे बैठा और कहां पे सर्वे हो रहा है, ये बिल्कुल एकदम हास्यास्पद बात है. लेकिन वो एरिया जहां पे हिस्टोरिकली इम्पोर्टेंट है, जो इंडियन कल्चर के लिए, हिंदुओं के लिए और हिंदुस्तान के लिए जो कल्चरली रिच एरिया है, जिसके ऊपर ऐसे अगर कुछ कंफ्यूजन है, किसी को कोई डाउट है, तो उसको डाउट को अगर क्लियर हो जाता है. दो कम्युनिटीज आपस में इतने सालों से रह रही हैं, अगर किसी एक कम्युनिटी को दूसरे पे डाउट हो रहा है तो उसको क्लियर करने में मुझे नहीं लगता, अंडर द गाइडेंस ऑफ लॉ, अंडर द गाइडेंस ऑफ कोर्ट के आदेश से, प्रशासन की प्रेजेंस में, अगर किसी का कोई कंफ्यूजन खत्म होता है जिससे दोनों कम्युनिटीज में प्यार और प्रेम और सौहार्द बना रहे, तो उसमें मुझे नहीं लगता कोई प्रॉब्लम है. और बार बार इस बात को काशी विश्वनाथ को आप ये देखिए ना, हिंदुस्तान में जब मुस्लिम इन्वेडर, इस्लामिक इन्वेडर्स आए थे, काशी कोई इकोनॉमिक रिच नहीं था, ना ही वो आर्मी के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से रिच था, ना ही अयोध्या उस तरह से था, ना ही और कोई जगह. जितने भी जगह जहां पे कंट्रोवर्सीज हैं, वो एरियाज थे जहां पर हिंदुओं की आस्था रहती थी, और उन्हीं एरियाज को मुस्लिम इन्वेडर्स ने जानबूझ करके तहस-नहस करने की कोशिश की है. ये बात इसकी नहीं है कि किसी राजा को सत्ता चाहिए थी, ये बात ये थी कि हिंदुस्तान का जो ग्लोरी है उसको खत्म करने के लिए, हिंदुस्तान के कल्चर को खत्म करने के लिए जो कुछ भी किया गया है.
पर मिश्रा साहब, तो मिश्रा जी अभी आप कह रहे हैं कि ताजमहल के भी जो 22 दरवाजे हैं वो खुलने चाहिए, उसमें भी सर्वे होना चाहिए. ताजमहल तो आइकॉनिक है, वर्ल्ड हेरिटेज साइट है, वंडर है, वन ऑफ द वंडर्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड है.
तो हमने कब कहा कि वंडर ऑफ द वर्ल्ड नहीं है मैडम? मैं तो ये कह रहा हूं कि अगर कोर्ट का आदेश होता है, कानूनी तौर पे जो प्रक्रिया लागू हो सकती है, कानून के थ्रू अगर कोई चीज हो रही है, तो मुझे नहीं लगता किसी को कोई समस्या होनी चाहिए. और अगर सिर्फ चेक करने से डाउट खत्म हो जाता है, अगर सबको ये पता है कि ताजमहल शाहजहां ने बनवाया है, तो मुझे कोई नहीं लगता दिक्कत किसी को प्रॉब्लम होनी चाहिए. जिसको डाउट है वो खुलवा के चेक करवाना चाहता है, कोर्ट की प्रेजेंस में रिकॉर्डिंग होगी, आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे होगा. अगर वो बात सही है तो उसे मानने में कोई बुराई नहीं है. लेकिन अगर एक मेजॉरिटी पॉपुलेशन हिंदुस्तान की उससे अपनी आस्था को जोड़ना चाहती है, और उन्हें ऐसा डाउट है कि वहां पे कोई और चीजें मिल सकती है, वहां पे कोई मंदिर हो सकता है जिसकी तजोमहल की बात होती है, अगर ऐसा डाउट है तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि ऐसे.
आई वांट टू ब्रिंग इन शरद प्रधान इन दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन. पर एक चीज बताइएगा मिश्रा साहब, मान लीजिए क्योंकि हिस्ट्री इतनी लंबी है, कुछ ना कुछ तो जरूर मिलेगा. अगर किसी की भी आस्था उससे जुड़ी हो तो क्या होना चाहिए? मान लीजिए ताजमहल में आपको जो 22 दरवाजों में से एक दरवाजे में से कुछ मिल गया, तो फिर क्या होना चाहिए?
नहीं, ये मेरे कहने या आपके कहने से नहीं होगा. अगर 22 दरवाजों में किसी दरवाजे में आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे की रिपोर्ट आएगी, अगर ऐसा लगता है कि वहां पे कोई धार्मिक क्षेत्र था,
कुछ ना कुछ तो मिलेगा. हमारी सिविलाइजेशन तो इतनी पुरानी है.
देखिए, सिविलाइजेशन हर जगह मिल सकता है, घर हर जगह मिल सकता है, लेकिन अगर कोई मंदिर का साक्ष्य मिलता है या कुछ ऐसा मिलता है जो पुराणों से जुड़ा हुआ है, तो मुझे लगता है कि उस पर बैठ के बात करने में कोई बुराई नहीं है.
क्या बात होनी चाहिए?
दोनों पक्ष आपस में मिलकर के बात करेंगे, बैठेंगे. और जो ये कहा जाता है कि ताजमहल जो बनाया गया है बहुत खूबसूरत सी चीज है, हम भी मानते हैं, ये 7 वंडर है, भारत का एक गर्व है. लेकिन अगर उसके नीचे कोई शिव टेम्पल है या कुछ है, तो उसको भी हिस्टोरिकल बुक्स में रिवील करना चाहिए, पब्लिक को इंफॉर्मेशन होनी चाहिए. ऐसा मैं ये नहीं बिल्कुल कह रहा हूं तोड़ देना चाहिए.
शरद प्रधान, इज द रेक्टिफिकेशन ऑफ हिस्ट्री. दिस इज द रेक्टिफिकेशन ऑफ हिस्ट्री, इज व्हाट द BJP spokesperson just says, and there's nothing wrong if it happens under the purview of the law. It's not that vigilante are going and digging it up.
No, but the point is the manner in which the whole thing is being done. It's very, very evident that they are only looking for deeper divide between Hindus and Muslims so that they can win elections, polarization. And if it is rectification of history, then why don't you go back to the prehistoric times, right? When the earth was formed, if we go back to that, then everything should be demolished. The whole of New Delhi should be demolished. The whole of Delhi should be demolished because ultimately it belonged to the prehistoric inhabitants. Everything belonged to them when there was no religion. So if it is going back, then why don't we go back then? It is ridiculous. It is only to whip up passions so that they can achieve their limited objective of attaining power and using power to divide the society. That's about all, which is what they've been doing, and very systematically they have been doing it. It's very unfortunate that a party which has risen to power with such a big mandate, simply because the opposition is absolutely dead, they are resorting to these tactics every now and then. And UP is has become their ground for spreading hatred. Their whole objective, to me it seems that there is a design behind it. Otherwise anything like this couldn't be happening in the constituency of the Prime Minister. Varanasi, if something like this is happening, you very rightly pointed out, if they wanted to do anything, it could have been done when the Kashi Vishwanath corridor was being constructed. I have seen that place. I have seen Shangar Gauri myself a number of times. Yes, it is right behind the wall of the mosque. And, I fail to understand why is there insistence on going inside the mosque. The Shangar Gauri is just behind the wall of the temple and of the mosque, and fair enough, as long as they do survey there. But what business do they? Obviously, there is some mischief, some mischievous design behind doing this. Because we have seen there is enough evidence to establish.
चार्ज आप पे ये लग रहा है कि जो हिंदू मुसलमान है, वहाँ की जो सभ्यता है, उसमें आप फूट डालना चाह रहे हैं, क्योंकि जो ताजमहल का जो पेटिशन है वो तो भाजपा के एक कार्यकर्ता नहीं किया है, और जो बाकी जगह है जो आप बोल रहे हैं, ये क्योंकि चुनाव आने वाले हैं 2024 में, तो ये सब आपका कराया फूट डालने का है।
अच्छा प्रीति जी, ये बताइए, हमारा देश इतना बड़ा देश है, हर जगह कहीं न कहीं चुनाव होते रहते, तो चुनाव होने के चक्कर में जो तुष्टीकरण की गलतियां भी इसी भारत में हुई है आजादी के बाद से, तुष्टीकरण की वजह से जो यहाँ के मूल निवासी हैं, जो हिंदुस्तानी हैं, जो यहाँ के हिंदू हैं, जो मुस्लिम है वो भी यहाँ के ही हिंदू हैं, वो कन्वर्ट हो गए हैं, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है। लेकिन जो यहाँ के मूल निवासी, अगर उनकी भावनाएं, अगर जिनका मैंडेट लेके हम आए हैं, अगर हम उनके मैंडेट, उनकी भावनाओं को अगर हम फुलफिल करते हैं लीगली, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनली, बाय द वे ऑफ लॉ, मुझे नहीं लगता कोई प्रॉब्लम है। मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूं कि हम किसी धर्म विशेष के अगेंस्ट है, बिल्कुल नहीं। हमारी पार्टी सबका साथ सबका विकास के नारे से सबका विश्वास की बात कर रही है, और सबके प्रयास से ही ऐसा होगा। लेकिन ये कह देना कि चूंकि चुनाव आने वाला है इसलिए हम ये नहीं कर सकते, हमेशा एक चुनाव आने वाला होगा तो हम कब तक इंतजार करते रहेंगे? 70 साल तक तो अभी तक की रूलिंग पार्टियों ने इंतजार किया था। क्यों नहीं काशी विश्वनाथ का मामला सॉल्व हुआ? क्यों नहीं
Zainab Sikandar, as long Zainab Sikandar, the fact is, if it happens under the purview of the law, what's wrong with it?
Of course, I said it at the beginning, in the purview of the law, you can do anything, but the BJP spokesperson, very respectfully I'm saying, he just said कि अगर ताजमहल में मंदिर के कुछ अवशेष मिलते हैं तो फिर दोनों पक्ष बात करेंगे। कौन से दो पक्ष? ताजमहल हर एक इंडियन का है, सिर्फ मुसलमानों का या ताजमहल हो नहीं सकता, या किसी हिंदू का एक टेंपल नहीं हो सकता। ऑल हिस्टोरिक प्लेसेस बिलोंग टू ऑल इंडियंस। फिर तो आप like Sharad ji just said, where does the buck stop? It just is impossible to stop digging places, stop finding artifacts, which are for some people a matter of faith. Faith is leading to anybody saying anything. On national television now, he's going to dig up the past of Muslims also and talk about how we were converts. Even if we were converts, are these things to be said by a responsible politician? Please ask me, don't we have sentiments? Are sentiments only one-sided? One has to, as a public speaker, really look at what they are saying very responsibly. You can't get away with saying anything. You can't whip up passions. And it is about politics. You cannot deny the fact that in elections, none of the election governance issues are brought up. Please ask me in this entire...
Okay, because this is a skewed debate. There's only one spokesperson and two people have the other point of view. I know, okay, Mr. Pradhan, 10 seconds and I want to give 20 seconds to Kaushal Mishra.
Just a short intervention. I would like to point out where they talk of conversions. Let me also draw, probably he's not aware of history. The history of Bengal explicitly states how the dogmatism of Hindu religion led to mass conversions in Bengal. And that there's a story of Kala Pahad. The title was given to this man who was Raja Ram, he was called Raja Ram Roy. And how it was the dogmatism of Hindu religion, which is again being repeated by the...
May I just give the last word, 20 seconds right now to Mr. Kaushal Mishra. Kaushal Mishra जी, आप कुछ बोलना चाह रहे थे, पर बात वही पे आ जाती है जो आपके दूसरे दो पैनलिस्ट बोल रहे हैं. हिस्ट्री बहुत लंबी है, बहुत सारे वर्जन्स हैं एक ही हिस्ट्री के, और बहुत सारी इंटरप्रिटेशंस हैं उसी की. इसमें बैठ गए तो जहां पर आप चारों बैठे हैं वहां पे खुदाई हो जाएगी.
देखिए, ये बात बिल्कुल सही है कि हिस्ट्री को इस तरह से रिकरेक्ट नहीं किया जा सकता. और अभी हमारी दोस्त बोल रही थी कि कौन दो, मुझे भी ताजमहल पे उतना भरोसा है, लेकिन मुझे प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि हिंदुस्तान के लोगों को जो हिस्ट्री पढ़ाई जा रही है वो स्क्यूड हिस्ट्री है, चेंज हिस्ट्री है, ट्रू हिस्ट्री. एटलीस्ट कम से कम इस बात को एड्रेस तो किया जाए कि हाँ, ताजमहल एक मंदिर के ऊपर था, अगर था. मैं उसको कोट नहीं कर रहा हूँ, एक हंसने की बात नहीं है. आपने जो हिस्ट्री की बात की,
हंसने की बात है,
हिस्ट्री क्यों नहीं पढ़ाई गई? आप लोगों ने अभी तक क्या होता रहा है कि तुष्टीकरण के चक्कर में जो एक वोट बैंक की तरह...
Okay, gentlemen and Zainab, I'm going to bow out of this debate. Appreciate all four of you for joining us. The debate is going to continue, sadly. Will the citizens be able to sidestep the possible communal fallout of it all? Because it is in your face, even though it is under the purview of the law. The latest is a petition which says that the Taj Mahal, 22 doors of it, need to be opened up because somebody suspects there could be Hindu deities behind these doors. We leave it for our viewers to decide whether it's correct or incorrect.